Hello and welcome back to another Demis Hellen tutorial. We're going to create a melody and I'm just going to show you a sort of creative process that I'll go through. We've done a few videos of these before. It's going to be fairly short and sweet, but we're going to create something pretty decent nonetheless. So we're going to create a 4-bar section here. I'm already using some sections out of a track that I'm already working on here, and we're going to just pick some notation and we'll see where we're going. And we're going to use the scale assistant. You can use things online. I've always shown you the scales-chords.com website where you can type in, put the notes in of your scale that you've used in some chords. Say you've played something like this. You can put all of them notes that you've hit and it'll suggest what scale that's probably in, and then you can start using. But we're going to use the scale assistant in here. So we're going to draw the notes in here, and we've got a scale assistant up here and it's in G Aeolian natural minor, and up here I've got it set to scales and chords, and that is going to display everything in blue as in scale and everything in red as not in scale. We've done a video on it before, so if you want to check that out you can see that on the screen now. But we're going to take a look at drawing these in. So we had a D sharp, so that's an E flat really in this particular case, and we have an F, a G, an A B flat, a C, a D and an E flat. And there we are, we have our scale. So a way that I create melodies is I can pick a starting point. So I'm going to pick an F as my starting point. And then I'm going to skip G and I'm going to go to A, and then I'm going to use this half step here. So we've got a little bit of a step up. It's just a little bit to that B flat there. So then we have this. It's just got a nice natural feel to it. It's something that sounds quite nice, and that is sort of where I start with some of my melodies anyway. So I'm going to drag these notes out of this section so we can still see them for reference, even though we are getting them changed to blue here. It's just so you can see. So we're going to play these up here because this is the octave that I want to work on. So we're going to do F, A and A sharp, and let's just repeat those for a second for, let's just say, the entirety of them 4 bars. Let's just have that like that, and we'll have that like that, just to tie it round. So I'm just going to close the filter here. This is part of a track, so it's already open. Okay, so we have a nice starting point. Now I'm going to use the same scale, obviously, to create just a bit of a chord sequence. And I'm going to start with the F, and I'm just going to do basic. What a triad would be is a note, miss a note, a note, miss a note, a note. So you get a standard triad. So that would look like this. So the notes that are missing are this one and this one. So you can see I've taken like one note, missed one note, missed one note. We're not going to delve too deep into that. We've done a few videos before, so you can check them out on the channel. There's a few playlists going around about chords and creating trance, things like that. So I'm going to delete the top note there. I'm just going to have the first 2 notes of my triad. So it's one note, miss a note, one note. And let's just place that in sort of a 8th dotted style there. Okay, and we're just going to work in a 4-bar sequence. We could do this over 8 bars, which will probably sound better, but just for the sake of the tutorial, we're going to have this moving. So we have this at the moment, just playing. And then I can already hear in my head that that needs to go down, and because I know what scale I'm in, we can get the reference notes here on the left. So I'm going to choose C and E flat. That sounds like it goes down quite nice. Let's just open the filter a bit more. See, that's got a nice feel to it. So I'm going to take these notes down to C. Let's just straighten them up. And we know that's not in the scale. We just drop that down because I already said that I wanted the E flat in there. And straight away I'm hearing it going upwards, so we're going for a more sort of mainstream poppy vibe at this rate, and this is in no way planned. This is just how it is naturally flowing to me. I can hear these things in my head, so this is the part that I can't teach you, but just to show you my thought process, you might pick up on the same way of doing things. So then that's going to jump here, I think. So let's just have a look. Let's drop them there. We know that's not in there, and we want to do one note, miss a note. So we know that the next note is an F. So we want to miss that one, and we want to go to the next in the scale, which is G. Okay, I can hear that dropping again or going upwards, but I'm going to continue that and then change it on this last 2 beat section here. So let's start with, if we've got the chords, I'm just going to play these. That might be a bit too high. Let's just try that, but 1 octave lower instead. So I played the B flat and the D there. So it sounds okay, but we need that to flow just a little bit better. So we're going to have the same chords up to this point. And what might work better here is maybe just a drop, a half step drop here on this note, and then this one obviously to make the full chord. That works quite nicely. Say it's a little bit off jointed, it just sounds like it's nearly there but it's not quite, so it might be just a case of dropping 1 note, for example. Yeah, let's try going up 1. And it's not quite working there. That does sound okay. Let's just try the original chord that we had here. Let's just put them back to normal. And I'm going to put this up 1 octave, so it's actually up here. And there we are. That works well for me. Now, necessarily not in this sound, this is just a sound that I'm using in the track, but you can hear that flows really nicely, and we've got everything in key. We can see it's all in blue, all looks great. We've got our representation of the key here if we needed to reference it visually whilst you're playing, if you're more of a visual player. And then we can start layering the bass underneath. I'm just going to put everything on 1 track so you can just hear how I develop an idea, and then I would flesh that out into different tracks using different sounds. So we could start on the F and we could just follow, I'm just doing the rolling 16th idea here. F, C, E flat to this point, and then A, I'm going to go down to the B flat down here. I'm going to do that 1 octave down instead of following that one up. Let's just see how this sounds to start with. Okay, so yeah, there's something there, but I want to make this one a chord, so finish the triad off. So we can have the, let's just grab 1 note and copy it, so we can say 1 note, so we want to miss that. So we've got an F, so we could potentially put an F here, but I'm not going to say that's going to sound good, because that is going to roll straight back into this. It might work, it might not. So it sounds a little bit disjointed, that's not what I'm looking for, so I'm going to take that and create a triad in a different area, and that's using the G, B flat and D. So if we actually put this G here, you can see we've still got the 1 note, so we're missing that note, 1 note, miss a note, 1 note. So we've still got it, but we've actually changed the chord structure here slightly. So now we get a very smooth transition. It's almost like we've had a straight line and we've put a curve into that line and made it sound natural and more flowing. So instead of having our chord starting on a B flat here and working upwards, we're actually starting on the G and working upwards. So we've actually changed the chord structure with that bass. Sounding really, really nice. Obviously, if we split those into different sounds, so we had the arp on 1, we had the chords with another, and then this would be our rolling trance bass or whatever it might be, that's going to sound really nice. And then you can easily just translate that into chords. So if we copy that over, so we've got another version over here, we can say, okay, we want these to be our chords now. Let's just get rid of that one. Get rid of the melody, take the bass notes. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm now, wrong button, we are now going to drag this over. We don't want to do those, let's just get rid of those for now. So I've created some chords for pads straight away. Let's just put them there and shorten that down. Suddenly we've got our chord structure there, and we can start working on our pads and our string sections really easily just by using them same notes that we've just created there for the entire melody. And there we are. I know we didn't go into too much depth on the chords and the structures and how you'd know these things. So scale and chords is down in the link in the description. You can use that to punch in notes that you're already using in chords you've built, or if you're wanting to start from scratch, you can get it to show you a scale and then you can work to that. And you can use the assistant based in Cubase and any other DAW that might support that sort of feature. If you haven't already, hit the like button. That does help share it with everybody so that they can learn these skills too. It's all about the journey of learning. And finally, hit the subscribe button so you get notified when I upload new videos. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.